Hello one and all, and welcome back to Soldancer Plays Castlevania Symphony of the Night. We're going to have another go at this. We're loading back up from the same save point that we left off yesterday. Apparently it's our favorite save point here. And we got to this, first time we made it here was just coming straight through the castle. Then we got here looping back around from the marble hallway. And then third time we got here from teleportation. So we're actually just going to show off real fast. It's teleportation room, so there's a horse, and we teleported from the upper right area there. You can see the yellow dot. Yellow dots are teleportation rooms, and that one is the scorpion, which is the first one that you can find, and teleporting to the horse here lets you unlock that door, so you can actually get into it from both sides. Going to the scorpion area, you can continue up through the top there. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of things from that top area, but then I'm actually going to go up through the left side. Yeah, I haven't really shown this off either too. So you can see the dark blue areas. That's because we purchased that castle map in the library towards the end of the last episode. So now you can see it's not the entirety of the map, not by a long shot. There's a whole bunch of hidden areas. But it's essentially the areas you need to be able to explore to progress with the main storyline. So, you know, they don't expect you to necessarily find everything on your own. They kind of throw you a little bit of a bone. And it's pretty cheap. For some reason, it's 103 gold. Very odd, specific amount. But we're going to go ahead and pick up a couple more things. Just clear out a little bit more of the map. And our current objective is to get the ability to jump higher. So we're going to be looking for anything that boosts our jumping or flying ability. Probably should come as no surprise that, like most of this kind of game, there is a double jump upgrade that you get, and then you get access to the ability to fly not too terribly long after that. Okay, so what do we have over here? Notice these Medusa heads are orange. Orange ones will actually paralyze you, turn you to stone if they hit you. Reactive. Elevator activated. Interesting. Let's head back down here. You remember seeing this power-up I couldn't get before. Now we have the Soul of Wolf. Okay. And that means that if we press R2, we can turn into a wolf. Which does basically nothing. You can bark, and you can dash a little bit. You get this little bit faster movement. So that's kind of nice. It only works in open ground, and until you get another power-up later, it doesn't even damage enemies when you try to run through. You just bounce off them and take some damage, so it's not terribly useful. But here's the elevator. Whoa! Yeah, this is the fast elevator I was talking about before. Even breaks the ground underneath it. Doesn't really help you out all that much, because once you've come out here to the outer wall, really the only thing you ever want to come out here for again is the library. So, but it's handy. It's there. It's kind of a fun little effect. It goes up so fast that Alucard gets pulled to the bottom of the elevator. It's kind of a fun little special effect. Alright, so there's also a power-up in this jar across from this little jump up here. Oops. Oh dear. Medusa heads, how I don't love you. Let me count the ways. Way number 1, you're annoying. Way number 2, you're super annoying. Yeah, that's all I got. I'll stop now. Oh, I did this when I was testing. I did it on my first try. I might have to... Some of the trickier jumps like this, I might have to... Oh, yep, there you go. So when you get turned to stone, you just have to mash the D-pad. Oh, wow. I am just not doing anything very effective at the moment. Let's give this 1 or 2 more shots. Yeah, I'm gonna just... It's a heart max up, so not a huge deal if I can't get to it at the moment. I just have to wait until I get a... You know what, actually, let's try something. One more thing here. Let me try this. Hey! Oh, come on. Well, now I know I can do it. It's actually like the wolf is largely useless. Except for giving power-ups. Yeah, wolfy. See, I figured out something, or I learned something new every time I play this game. It's one of the things that I just really enjoy about it. It's got a very satisfying gameplay progression of just getting more and more powers, and it eventually opening up huge amounts of the castle to explore. Yeah, it's definitely starting to lose some of the linearity at this point. Alright, we got our save point at the top of the outer wall. Yeah, but just before I head back in, just if you take a look at that, you can actually go to, from where I am, without getting a single additional power-up, I can actually clear out all of those dark blue areas of the map, which is pretty cool. So basically by the time you get to the library and by the map get the first teleportation point, and you can kind of move easily, at least from the west and east sides of the map back and forth, the whole castle really opens up. It's pretty exciting. Oh, here's a power-up item. You know, I'm going to hang on to this for a while. Haven't shown this one off before. So this is the Bible. And when you get a Bible, you press up like your regular sub-weapon button. And it gives you something of a shield. It costs you 4 hearts. Flies around for a few seconds. It's pretty powerful. It does a good chunk of damage. It's good at keeping things like Medusa heads off, which is part of why I thought I would hang on to it. It still has to actually hit the book. Yeah, as I hit nothing there. But it does still have to hit the book in order to get the damage from it. But it's not just sort of a bubble shield, but the spinning book actually causes collision damage. Alright, so we're going to head back to the horse teleportation chamber. Back at our favorite area at the beginning of the game. And, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick cut. Y'all seen me go through the alchemy lab a couple times now, so I'll meet you back when I get to where the blue door was at the top of the alchemy lab that we just bought the Jewel of Open from the librarian when we were there in order to get through this door. So I'll catch up with you there in just a sec. Okay, now I'm back, and you can see here I've managed to get to the upper left corner of the alchemy lab, where we have this kind of funky hallway and this door, and now with the Jewel of Open I can get through. Yeah, I'm going to keep the Bible for now. Hey, it's you.
So, we meet again, Alucard.
It seems so.
As friendly as ever, I see. It's strange. This castle is different than I remember it.
This castle is a creature of chaos. It may take many incarnations.
So I can't trust my memories, huh? Oh well, I'll do my best. Good luck.
I love that line about the castle being a creature of chaos. Like, it lends this sort of sinister sentience to the entire, to Castlevania itself. It's really cool, and it also kind of gives sort of an in-universe explanation for why every single version of the castle is always different. Like, oh, well, yeah, that's how it felt like doing. The castle woke up and was like, yeah, I'm gonna look like this today. So we're in a brand new area, the Royal Chapel. Some of the eeriest music in the entire game. Which, of course, now I'm not letting you hear because I just went to a save point, but that's fine. I might start cutting those out depending on how often I go to them. I probably won't need to, but I think eventually I'm going to try and streamline the recording a little bit more, just cutting a little bit more of the fluff out. So we'll see. And an aquamarine. That's another gemstone like the zircon that we found earlier that you can just sell at the library. Does nothing of import. Oh, you might have noticed I equipped the jeweled knuckles because I was wanting to get through that section as fast as possible. But we'll just switch that back to the Bacillard. Uh-oh. Yeah, I forgot about that. Whoa. He goes far. Ouch. Let's Bible. There we go. That's helpful. Yeah, you can see there's some power-ups over here and some jars that I cannot quite reach. Oop. I still need to be able to get the double jump, which is kind of what we're working towards at this point. Ugh, I thought I could kill him and then jump over it before getting hit. No such luck. Yeah, there's a little bit of a weapon drought in this area of the game. There's a couple of cool things that you can buy from the librarian. You kind of have to grind for them a little bit. I think we have only like, what, 1,500, 2,000? Yeah, 2,300 gold. This is not quite enough to get the next really good weapon, which is, I think, about 3,000 from the librarian. So, unless I just get super frustrated, I'll probably hold off on the keep the Basilard for now. Let's just go get a ghosty buddy. Help us out. And you have to jump over those spike balls. You cannot punch them. Not sure why they're called corner guards when they appear on stairs. I don't know if that's a translation choice. They appear exactly the same, using the same sprite and the same name in, I know, at least Portrait of Ruin. Okay, this guy's tough. Doesn't look like much, right? Oh, but he has friends. This is another one of those cool actual 3D rendered enemies. So I'm going to try and do the spell that I was attempting. There we go! Soul Steal. Yeah, you see that? Every hit that you get from it, yeah, and I can take that out very, very quickly. Every hit that Soul Steal does, it'll damage each hittable portion of something on the screen once. So it'll hit a candle, it'll hit bosses. I'm not exactly sure how it works, because it seems to sometimes hit bosses more, but sometimes it'll only hit them once. But for each hit it does, it will do damage scaled on your intelligence, and it'll heal you for 8 points for each point of damage that it did to an enemy, which is pretty good. Oh, nice. This jump's sometimes a little bit tricky to make. I got the goggles, which are a head item, and they are strictly better than defense. They actually increase my intelligence instead of decreasing it, which means that my Soul Steal will do even more damage now. See if I can pull it off. Hey! Yeah, see, it just killed it straight up. I didn't even have to hit it afterwards. Okay, so where does this take us? I think this takes us to an area we can't get into yet. I think this is a one-way exit. Yeah, it sure is. But it does get us the Night Shield, which is a significant upgrade. Yeah, it gives us extra 1 defense. I think there's a few new types of projectiles that it can block that the leather shield could not block. Not going to worry about taking him out. You can actually, if you get good at the Soul Steal, it costs you 50 MP. Yeah, so I can't even do it again quite yet. Yeah, now I can. Oh, but see, half the time I do it, I wind up doing Hellfire instead. But this guy's actually worth a fair bit of MP. XP, I mean. And, whoa, yeah, you can actually hit the swords. Yeah, I'm gonna wind up getting myself killed here if I try to screw around too much. Let's just Bible. That helps a lot. Yeah, you can see how difficult it is to actually just legit fight this guy. But I didn't get my level up, so that's kind of what I was talking about. If you have the patience to let your magic recharge, because it does cost 50 MP to use Soul Steal, so it's not like something you can just do willy-nilly. But if you have the patience to go in and out of that room and Soul Steal a few times, that guy's a really good source of XP. He's worth quite a bit at this point in the game. You can pick up a few levels off of him. Ooh. Spooky. It's a confessional. This is one of the neatest rooms in the game. Doesn't look like much at first, but you can actually sit in these chairs. And the priest will come. Wait, why is he laughing? Oh shit! Yeah. Murderous priest. each time you enter and leave the room, it actually spawns a chance at a different ghost for you to interact with. And it's the red one. He's the same that we just saw. Stab, stab, stab. So let's actually go sit in the confessional scene. And she's laughing too. When one of the ghosts is laughing, you know, that's not a good plan. Let's see if I can get all 4 of them to show up there. There's actually 2 ghosts that appear on each side of the confessional. Okay, here we go. Here's the good priest. And yeah, he blesses you, crosses himself, and he drops... yeah. Grape juice. Sure, Konami. Yeah, it's pretty obviously supposed to be communion wine. Let's see if I can get the other confessional woman to show. Oh, yeah, here, cool. I actually got them all pretty quick. And she will actually just sit there weeping and dabbing her face with her handkerchief for as long as you stay in the chair. I think it won't time out. You can just sit here for as long as you feel like. And she'll bow and thank you when you get up and leave. And I think she's supposed to I've heard that maybe it's a version difference or maybe it's just a random drop, that she'll sometimes drop bread or crackers or something that's meant to represent the Eucharist. I don't think I've ever actually seen that, so it's probably a version difference. But there is nothing to this room other than, you know, potentially getting the grape juice from the priest that contributes to the game whatsoever. There's no power-ups here, there's nothing significant to the story. It's one of the things I love about this game, and I see it occasionally in some more open-world style games these days, where they do what's called environmental storytelling, where you're presented with a situation like this, and with 0 dialogue, and merely being able to interact with or examine your environment, you can concoct a story of what was happening in that place. And it just sort of creates a sense of that the world is truly lived in, that this castle doesn't just exist purely for Alucard and Maria and Richter to be in, or Dracula for that matter, but it has its own little stories. You know, who were these ghosts? Why were 2 of them trying to kill each other? You know, it leaves some kind of questions, gives you something a little bit to think about. I kind of need a save point here. I think there's one off to the right. Yeah, those skill rings don't look like much, but they actually kind of pack a punch. Oh, nope. This is what I was thinking was maybe downstairs. This is another a one-way entrance that you have to come through the other side first. We'll be seeing that again before too much longer. Did I miss the save point? No. I guess there just isn't one for a while. Okay, well that's a little bit disconcerting, so I'll try and not mess this up here too bad.